Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Here we are. We're at a place. We're north of 53, the Boreal Forest, Manitoba, Canada. Just north of the Pas, Manitoba, we have the Clearwater Provincial Park. The Clearwater Lake, is one of the second or third cleanest lakes in the world. It is amazingly clear. The fishing is huge lake trout, and it's quite the attraction here. So today we're going to, because it's a free park day, I don't have to have a park pass today. We are going to go through some of the trails and do some photography. And what we're using today is the Nikon D700, the 35 to AF 35 to 135, 3.5 to 4.5 lens, and also the AF Nikon 75 to 300, 4.5 to 5.6 lens. There's a story behind this lens. This lens, came across this lens because Patrick Hollins, my good friend Patrick Hollins, was watching a creator called Carmine Taverna. Carmine Taverna, excuse me while the cars go by, because we're right by the highway. Carmine Taverna featured this lens in one of his videos, and Patrick watched it and contacted me, and so both, after seeing the results and what he had to say about this lens, for the dollar value, I can't remember how much it was, we both ran out and grabbed one. So and I've not regretted it since. This is a awesome combination, because the 35 millimeter to 300 millimeter is like hard to beat. It's not it could be a heavy lens to some people. It has a rotatable tripod mount, but not very often do I use a tripod mount with it. But here comes another thing we're doing today. I also got the 105 micro AFS micro Nikon 105 2.8 GED lens. Just in case we want to do some macro shots. I don't have an AF macro, or I would be doing that. So here's the ticket that we're doing today for everybody that wants to know. Nikon D700 P mode, program mode. You probably won't find any other creators that will actually come on to YouTube and tell you that we're doing program mode on these cameras. I did one on the D300, and so today we're doing program mode with these lenses on the D700. Program mode, basically everything. Your camera is controlling everything. It's controlling your aperture. It's controlling your shutter speeds. It's controlling pretty much everything. So we're gonna find out how this works today, out in the trails, and see actually what Nikon had programmed into these cameras to look after us when we really don't want to do anything. So this is a very lazy day for me. All I'm going to be doing is basically choosing my distance, letting the camera do the rest. So if you stick around to the end, we're shooting in black and white. All the photos that you'll see throughout the video will be black and white, but at the end, because we're doing digital and I shoot raw, you're gonna see all the photos in color. So here we go. I'll meet you on the trail. We might as well start it off right by taking a photo of this this sign here. The car is going to be in the backdrop, but basically we're just, let's see here. So it's telling me f7.1, ISO 200, shutter speed of 250. So if you noticed, you would have seen a bracket on the bottom of the camera. That bracket is what's holding the DJI SE4 gimbal right now. So now we get to have a POV, and that's so I mount my gimbal on there. Here we go. We're on the other side now of this sign. We're doing f10 and shutter speed of 400. I've always liked the look of this tree, even when this tree is basically naked in the wintertime. It's got some really interesting brackets on it. So here we go again, f10, 400, and let's go on in and maybe get some of these branch details. The great thing about these lenses is they also have a macro. Like it's not a big, it's not a 1-to-1 macro, but they do have a macro option on them. Let's see, we'll just try to grab a composition on this one branch here. So we're looking at f6.3, shutter speed 160. We'll pull back a little ways here and open this all the way up to 35. F8, 250. So I just noticed this beautiful looking daisy here. So this will be a good chance for us to try out the macro, because this lens also has macro. So let's see how close we can. Oh, we really have to get close here. So you guys might not even be able to see this. Here, let me see if I can bring this down. But I'm only 3 inches away from this daisy. 250 f8. Here we go. I noticed this another and we're just going to zoom on this one. Well, we'll have to go to macro again. So a macro on this, you pull it back. .200, 7.1. And you lose your autofocus. So we are now at Jackfish Creek. This is actually a ladder, a fish spawning ladder for suckers and jackfish or northern pike that spawn into a lake up above. So we're at 400 on this sign, f10. So now this creek usually runs year round. Sometimes it dries up. Right now it's dried up, so I'll take a picture. I'm up on a small bridge looking down, and we're at f7.1, 200. And that was at 35, right? So here we go now. We've turned around the other way. Now I'm in portrait mode, but this gimbal on the system that I have actually spins. I'm going to spin it right now. I'm in portrait mode. I'm now in landscape mode. And I'm now in portrait mode. So this gimbal is really cool. So I'm at 35 millimeters right now. And it's telling me f8 at 250. Now I'm going to bring it in to 135 and take a different composition. And here we are 207.1. Cool. Here we are. I noticed this weed, and what we're doing here is we are I'll get the camera in on there. We are in right back at 35 in the macro mode. Now you lose autofocus when you're in macro. So it's telling me 163 6.3. That's a weird one. Kind of like this composition. I'm going to leave it in portrait, and we're going to take it off of macro. I can't believe that I was supposed to be bringing the 70 to 35 to 70, and I ended up this instead. So we're at f8 250 as soon as it'll figure out. There we go. Now we're at a trailhead. We're very close to the highway here on this one. And I'm leaving it at 35. And I'm aiming my focus right at that bright spot. So we're at 125, 5.6. I'm finding the sun coming in on this is quite unique. So I'm bringing it to 135. And it's registering 100 f5. Here we are looking south, and the sun is right above us, right above us. So I really kind of like this. It's I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're probably sitting around 75 millimeters. We're sitting around 75 millimeters, and it's doing 200 f7.1. And that was landscape or portrait mode. Looking at this old stump that is slowly returning everything it was once back to nature, and pulled this back to pretty much 40, 45, and we're sitting at 160 f6.3. About the lighting on this, but I kind of like. So I'm at about 80, and actually the camera in P mode is choosing 84.5. Now I'm aiming, my focus is right on that old mossy log with stuff growing out of it. They're kind of an interesting scene. I would like to try to get that in here framed just about right. just in front of the rock, that willow, that's where we're focusing at. 125, 5.6. Now everybody remember, we're not out here taking the most fancy shots or the most perfect shots. We're out here to see how this camera is handling program mode, P mode, with these lenses. We are now, we're at the bridge, and we're going to get a little bit of sky in this. I like the idea of having some sky in this. I'm probably at about 50 millimeters, and my focus is basically going to be on the bridge. So it's telling me 200, 7.1. And there you go, there was some sky in that shot. Now when I seen this, and now see the sun is hitting that, I want to try frame that up in a portrait to get the logs on both sides and the rocks, and I'm aiming right at that fern. 160, 6.3. We have now switched to the 75 to 300. We're at about 200 millimeters right now. I'm aiming for that center log, 160, 6.3. Kind of like the detail on this rock, and you'll see. So I'm full out at 300 here right now, and we're doing 250 at f.8. It is kind of neat, actually. So in the same area, this we're still at about 300, 250 f.8 once again. I don't know if you can see this, but down in there, there is a little, it's got little red, almost orange berries on it, and the sun's just hitting it beautifully. And we're at 85.6. So this little old stump here, we're at 60 f5. Now this is this is supposed to pretty heavy lens, should be on a tripod, but I think that our speed is fast enough that we're doing okay. The last shot that I took with the little flowers or the little berries on the bush was at 135. Ouch, boy, the mosquitoes are just eating me alive, so we're going to have to make this quick. So we're going to go into macro at 135 here, and it's telling me, oh, this is not macro. Let's see, what is macro? Okay, sorry, this is not macro. So we're at 135, and we're at 85.6. Okay, so here we are with the 135 on macro, and this is getting really slow. So we're at 55.6. So this is new to me. I really haven't used macro on this 75 to 135. So we go out to 135, and it's auto focusing on macro on its own, which is quite amazing to me. But let's bring it back to, okay, so we're back to 75. So 75, this is 10 feet, right? So if I go closer now to this old stump, within 3 feet away, it automatically pulls to macro, 3 feet, oh my gosh, 30 at f.5. So this is amazing. See, I did not know about this lens. So right now we're at 300, right? We're gonna have some troubles here. We're at 300, 56.3, and it's really hunting. Simply because we don't have much light here. Okay, let me back. So this is automatically choosing a macro. It's right at full macro right now. 40 at 6.3. So it actually went to full macro mode, and we're only basically 3 feet away from that. It's just crazy. It's auto focusing into the macro mode. So it's I'm finding this quite interesting. Okay, so I'm at full macro right now. I'm at 300. F3. I'm at 300, and we are only, hold on, 50 at 6.3. We are only at the most 3 feet away from those berries at the most, and it's full macro. This is crazy. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this. So, oh, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. I use spray, but obviously not enough. Holy smokes. So, I really hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry that I made a mistake and didn't grab the 35 to 70, but grabbed the 130, the 35 to 135 instead. But whatever. I'm really surprised at the macro on this 35 to 135, how it's doing auto focus, because the other lenses don't do autofocus in macro. So it's quite I'm quite impressed. I've used this lens a few times, but obviously not enough. Carmine Taverna was very I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, was thank you very much for doing this video. So Patrick Hollins has seen it and told me, because I really enjoy this lens. Really enjoy this lens. Very versatile. I love the 300. I love a zoom that goes to 300. So there you go. So just remember, these weren't all perfect shots. We were just testing P mode in the Nikon D700 with these two lenses, the 35 to 135 AF, 35 to 135 AF, 3.5 to 4.5. It has a macro feature. And we also used the 75 to 300, and it was also, I'm pretty sure, let me read, it's a 4.5 to a 5.6. So P mode, right? P mode. I'm looking forward to seeing these results. You will be seeing the black and whites, after the shots that we took. And then at the end, you'll see all the color photos. So hang in there, everybody. Like, subscribe, click the bell, Don't get over influenced by influencers. Be careful on that one. One more note. Photography is basically, photo is light, light. You know, I think that's Greek, and the graph is draw. So basically, what we are doing is we are drawing with light. So there's no such thing as an imperfect photo. There is no such thing as not sharp enough. You need to sort of push all of that influencer stuff aside and come back to reality, because photography is your drawing with light. Your as in you yourself. It's an individual thing. If we all follow the influencers that we see, there's so many of them telling you, you have to have this lens, you have to have that lens, you got to do this, you got to do that. Well, all of our photos are going to look the same, right? So no, that's not what photography really is about. It's about individually drawing with light. So I'll leave you with that point. Take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we fed a lot of mosquitoes.
It's not getting you closer to where you wanna be in your life. The weight on your shoulders, time to put it down. You fall and you break, you got battles to take on, but you figure it out, yeah. When you fall and you break, you got changes to make now. See the light at the end of the tunnel, it's right there, now just look up and follow. Take one step at a time, babe, I'm with you all the way. So baby, get up, 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 up. No, don't you stay down, 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 down. Now lift yourself up, 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 up. Baby, baby, get up, baby, get up. The brighter you're shining, the darker skies get. So used to be hiding behind your fears, but from my perspective, you got just what it takes. You're in control here, don't you forget. You fall and you break, you got battles to take on, but you figure it out, yeah. When you fall and you break, you got changes to make now. See the light at the end of the tunnel, it's right there, now just look up and follow. Take one step at a time, babe, I'm with you all the way. And baby, get up, no, don't just stay down, and lift yourself up. Baby, baby, get, so baby, get up. So baby, get up. Don't just stay down, down. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Baby, get up. See the light at the end of the tunnel, it's right there, and I just look up and follow. Take one step at a time, but I'm with you all the way. So baby, get up. No, don't you stay down. Go and lift yourself